Give me the birds tonight. Welcome, everyone, to the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. It is great to be here with all of you. In my opinion, tonight, is the most defining moment for what this potential Eagles season can be, and here's why.
Philadelphia. What does it mean to be from Philadelphia? The city of brotherly love. From museum to waterfront to stadiums with World Series champions and Super Bowl champions, what does it mean to be in Philadelphia? A disappointing start to a season, a quarterback in question, a coach in question. Tonight at 8:20 in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football. Carson Wentz, Doug Peterson, the scrutiny versus a rookie head coach and a second-year quarterback. Who will prevail from such a terrible division? Who will rise? What team will do it? Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Who will rise?
That's your question. Who will rise? And as always, joined alongside my co-host Gavin Tony. Gavin, it's great to be here with you. This is a pivotal moment in this team's season. What will happen? How you doing?
So, Zach, I'm doing great, and I like the narration by you. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
And I'm great, but Zach, I'm a little bit disappointed. We can't get a trade between us and the fantasy league going on. So there's a little tension between us today because we can't come to an agreement. Zach beat me to the Antonio Brown waiver wire pickup, and I'm pissed off because I was going to get him because of last year, because he owes me from last year. But ladies and gentlemen, back to Zach's original question. This is a pivotal moment in the season for the Eagles tonight. If you can't beat the New York Giants, you lost the Washington football team, which is arguably a stupid name that you're going to keep for next year. I had to start questioning who really is the real problem. And I've been doing it already, but I'm going to have to start forcing it. I'm going to get into that in a minute. But, Zach, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. We got a big night tonight for this Eagles football team. They're in all black on Thursday Night Football. They seem to do pretty well when they have that. This is a big moment. You got Deshaun Jackson back tonight. Miles Sanders will not be there. I'm not really sure who's going to be doing the running. I don't expect any running tonight, honestly. Give me the under on 10.5 carries tonight. I'm taking the under for sure. But this is a bad Giants defense. This is the offense on the Giants that has some good pieces but can't put it all together. Frankly, I'm a little worried defensively because we have such bad linebackers. Evan Ingram is going to be able to have himself a night. So I think that's going to be a big pivotal moment. The Eagles need to get started early. Their offense needs to show up. They need to take advantage and they need to show who they truly are as a team. And tonight, how they play tonight will dictate how their season goes. All they need is like 6 wins to win this division. And you can get hot at the end of the season, Gavin. You can have 6 wins. It might be an ugly schedule, but you can go make an upset in the playoffs, right? And the goal for Carson Wentz to stay healthy, that's kind of the big thing. Unfortunately, last year, we know how it ended for him. But his respect needs to be where it should be. He needs to beat the teams that he should. He lost 2 tough games to very, very, very good defenses. And we said this before.
By kicking too, Zach, by field goal.
The Eagles could have won those both games. Carson Wentz did what he could to win those games. And he needs to do the same tonight, and he should be able to win considering what he's got here. And just remember, Boston Scott always tears apart the Giants. So I think that Boston Scott's going to be a big key to tonight as well. But, Gavin, what are some of your big keys to winning tonight?
The big key tonight for me for the defense would be stop Darius Slayton, damn it. Zach, do you remember last Thursday or Monday whenever they played at nighttime where Darius Slayton had like 12 catches for almost 200 yards versus the Eagles? Stop Darius Slayton, please. That's the first key. Evan Ingram, limit him. The linebackers are garbage, so just limit him the best you can. There's no Saquon Barkley. Devontae Freeman, I'm not going to call him a slouch, but you lost a job to Todd Gurley, and you were the head guy in Atlanta. You were the first guy to actually set the running back market, Zach, if I recall, back in 2015, 2016. And You haven't been that guy. And the Eagles, I won't say the worst against the run, but they're not the best. You did face arguably the best rushing team last week, and you did good against them. Mark Ingram's not having a good time. Lamar Jackson's not what he was last year. But those are my keys on defense. Stop Darius Slayton. Limit Evan Ingram. Make Daniel Jones have to beat you. Because that's something he's not done at all this year. He had one nice play last week, Zach, for 40, 45 yards, 60 yards almost. The fake where it faked out the cameraman. That's what I'm talking about. Keys to the offense. Zach, you're right. You got to start early. We get out to the point. And Jake Elliott, I swear, if you miss another field goal, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what I'm going to do to Jake Elliott. Because, Zach, we talked about the last 2 weeks. He missed 2 key pivotal field goals. That would have gave them 3 points versus the Steelers, or would have made them 30 points. I know, even though Chase Claypool caught the last touchdown, but it would have been a different story. And then last week with Baltimore, you missed a field goal as well. So let's not act like Jake Elliott hasn't been a problem this year either. You could make the say, well, 54 yards and this. I know 50 plus yards is hard, but when you kick a field goal from 61 plus, 50 plus yards should be in your bag, really. Zach, another thing too about this Eagles team is give the ball to Boston Scott in the red zone. Let's make it easier for Carson Wentz. Because the Giants know you're going to pass. They're just going to sit in pass protection all night long in the red zone. And you get Deshaun Jackson back tonight. Hopefully he can do something. I hope. I believe in these young guys, Zach. I really do. These young guys are going to be the key to tonight's game. Remember, they beat the Giants in Week 17. This is the same team that beat the Giants in Week 17, arguably just missing a few pieces on the offensive line. Oh, and Zach, by the way, before I hand it to you, I was looking on ESPN today. The Eagles' injured team is way better than the team they sent out there. You got Miles Sanders, you got Zach Ertz, you got Jalen Reagor, who I'm not really fond of yet. You got Dallas Goedert, you got Brandon Brooks, you got Jason Peters. Do I need to keep going?
I just said Mile, Andre Dillard, Lane Johnson will be back tonight. So Lane Johnson, Carson Wentz, and Jason Kelce are the only starters that are starting tonight for the Eagles.
You got Vontae Maddox back as well tonight.
Which is good. I don't know if he'll probably start opposing to Slay. Slay, I assume, will take on wide receiver 1, which is Slayton tonight, and then Golden Tate will pick up a little bit too.
This game could go either way, but I do see it going in Eagles' favor. I really do.
I do. I think the Eagles need to have a strong start tonight, and I'll ask you this then, Gavin. Over under Carson Wentz 50 rushing yards.
I'll take the over.
I'll agree with you on that one. Boston Scott more.
Over under
Boston Scott.
I will say this, Zach, and this goes back to the Super Bowl year. When he runs, great things happen on the ground. When he uses his legs, great things happen. Remember where he broke out the sack versus the Redskins? It got like 15 yards. Zach, I'll go back to last week, 2 weeks ago versus Pittsburgh, where he goes into the end zone and runs in. Good things happen when Carson Wentz runs.
He had a 40-yard rush last week. He broke like 5 or 6 tackles.
And let's see more of that Jalen Hurts, Taysom Hill package here in Philadelphia, please.
Maybe
give him a
double pass tonight. Jalen Hurts throw a pass tonight is a question.
Maybe. I think there's a higher chance of him running than passing.
Yeah, and that's for sure. We'll see some dual quarterback backfields, make some interesting, but I do think Jalen Hurts gets at least 5 carries for at least 30 yards and possibly his first touchdown. We'll see how that comes, but
I see that.
But he is overdue for a touchdown in my opinion. So Gavin, I'll get to this. Score preview for you, score prediction for the game tonight.
28-21. Eagles are up 10-0 to start the game, but ultimately they stall out. Giants go 14-10, and then the Eagles just go unanswered for a little while.
I'm going to go with 31. I'm going with 31-17. I think the game is close at halftime, but the Eagles pull away in the second half. And again, the key to this game, good play calling, good balance, and Carson Wentz just does his thing.
It all depends what Daniel Jones shows up. Are you going to see Daniel Jones versus Washington that dropped 6 touchdown passes last year? Or are we going to see Daniel Jones of this year, which hasn't been anything to rave about, Zach? I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're team building. I actually have a lot of praise for the Giants. I think it's unnecessary to already talk about tanking for Trevor for that team. They're in a good position, in my opinion, to be successful. They're nowhere near their Jets counterparts. I mean, I don't get a lot of the hate. I don't understand why a lot of people hate the Giants. Now, obviously, as an Eagles fan, we don't like them. But I think they have a lot of young talent up there. I mean, Sterling Shepard, unfortunately, can't stay healthy. But when him, Golden Tate, and Darius Slayton are on the field, that's arguably the second best wide receiver.
They made Eli Manning look good. And it was just Darius Slayton. Excuse me, it wasn't Darius. It was Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram making Eli Manning look good. And arguably, this offense they have now with Saquon Barkley, obviously, is even better than what they have for Eli Manning because they didn't have a run game. Zach, the Giants team is going to be scary in the future. I don't believe Daniel Jones is going to be that guy to take him there. But I think it's a little too early to be like tank for Trevor Lawrence. And where's my guy Justin Fields? And I actually do have a great spot for Justin Fields, so I'll get into that a little bit later.
It's not the Jets, is it?
Hell no. Listen,
Did you see Trevor Lawrence's comments on the Jets?
I know the one thing I sent you yesterday was if the Jets are the top pick, go back to Clemson.
No, Trevor said he doesn't want to go to the Jets. He made it pretty obvious.
Nobody wants to go to the Jets.
That's a dumpster fire. I can only imagine what they're going to be looking like in a few
I
weeks.
will say this, Zach. Justin Fields to Atlanta, that would be scary.
Atlanta, you said?
Atlanta, Justin Fields to Atlanta. I like that idea.
All right, we'll see. Possibly they should be sellers. They should be sellers. Atlanta can really trade all their guys right now and then just muscle through the rest of the season, and they can be on a nice rebuild for next year. We'll get to that after this, but also coming up next, Antonio Brown. Top choices for him. Will he get another chance in the NFL? We'll cover that after this.
We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode.
Well, at least the videos are smoother. It just sometimes takes an extra click or two, unlike the old days for those who remember or watched our previous shows. But I got to bring it up, Gavin. Antonio Brown is eligible to return after Week 8.
Real quick, Zach. Real quick. Seahawks defense is Justin Jefferson for Antonio Brown. Yes or no?
No.
You're not getting Baltimore defense for. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why me and Zach are not on good terms today. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm 5-0, so I mean.
Okay, well, I'm on the uprising. You're not winning the championship in this league.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to that. Remember, October 22nd at minute 52nd, Gavin saying I'm not gonna win the championship, despite the fact I'm 5-0 and averaging 140 points a week. But
whoever's watching, clip this moment and send it to Zach. So when I win the championship, he's gonna look all crazy, just like he said when his Detroit Lions. But go ahead, Zach, please.
The Packers lost last week, and the Lions are 2-0 with Kenny Galladay, but keep believing.
And you also have 14-0 versus Saints, and you saw that ended.
That's just a bad organization. Talk about bad organizations. We'll cover that in more detail later, though. But Antonio Brown, Gavin, first of all, does Antonio Brown deserve a chance? Second of all, are the Hawks a good fit for him?
Zach, no, he does not deserve another chance. And it's not because I have anything personally against Antonio Brown. I'm thinking more from a locker room perspective. Now, Zach, what I mean by that is you look at a team like the Atlanta. Wow. Okay. Look like a team in the Seattle Seahawks, right? They have a great organization over there. They have great chemistry. You bring a guy in, Antonio Brown, who's been, just a head case for everybody, even outside the National Football League. The fact that this guy was in the National Football League and was causing problems, and then when he leaves, it's even worse. Zach, this guy also still has a court case against him still. Now, I'm not saying Antonio Brown doesn't deserve a second chance, because everybody deserves at least a second chance in life, I believe. But I wouldn't put him on a team that's rolling on all cylinders and wouldn't need him. I'll put him on a team like Baltimore that could use a true number one wide receiver. Zach, I've been saying that. They don't have one. You get him, and things might open up even more for Lamar Jackson. But I don't think Atlanta, if you're going to get a second chance, it can't be with Seattle. It really can't be.
So you don't like him going to Seattle? I mean, it's a possibility. Russell Wilson apparently did a lot of reps with him in the summer. You also saw Lamar Jackson, Antonio Brown, and his cousin, who's on the team, respectively, Hollywood over there, who's more of a speedster. But as far as fit, not necessarily off the field, but on the field, Antonio Brown's that slot guy, that elusive player. They already have a guy like that in Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's a little faster, I think. DK Metcalf's that big physical receiver. I don't think Antonio Brown fits as perfectly there. You have a couple other receivers that really help out there, but you have a guy like Tyler Lockett already that knows how to work the slot.
Well, also too, DK Metcalf has really came into his own this year. He has stupid mental mistake errors, but that's all right. Everybody has that. Tyler Lockett has always been that guy there, the slot guy. And Antonio Brown does have a lot to bring to the table on the field. Like, I mean, you give Russell Wilson a dangerous. Just think about it too. You do bring Antonio Brown in. He's going to take all the number one attention against DK Metcalf at number two. We said the same thing about that in Tampa. And look at Chris Godwin. He's going off right now. If a team like Baltimore would grab Antonio Brown, open up a little bit more for the run game, even more, because you got to worry about what Antonio Brown is. You do the run past the RPO. I just don't like the fit for the Seahawks because you don't want to ruin. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're not broken. Regardless of what Russell Wilson wants. Now, Russell Wilson on the other hand will make Antonio Brown look great. He would make him look great. But I just think from a locker room perspective, because this guy is a head case. This guy, it shows who the real problem is. Problem in Oakland. Well, excuse me, with Las Vegas now. Problem is Pittsburgh. He was there for 2 weeks. Zach, I was happy because I had Antonio Brown. He went to New England. I was like, oh, that's for sure going to the championship. You only catch one touchdown pass, and then you're off the team next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I wasted the first round pick on that guy. That's why I was frustrated. Zach, I don't know. Antonio Brown is too hard. Because I would say, I was like, well, the Eagles should go out and go get him because look at him. You don't have help. But I don't know. Yeah, no, I think AB would be a number one because you have to. Antonio Brown is a special talent. DK is not there yet, but DK is
going. Different types of receivers. They're different types. I mean, DK is fast too, so that DK kind of combines 2 in 1 as the physical receiver and the faster guy. But it's tough because when you have a level of talent in a guy like that, it's hard to ignore it, especially if your team needs it. And Seattle doesn't need it, so don't make the head case unnecessarily. Again, we talk about the NBA with locker room cancers and issues like that. I mean, Kyrie Irving's more talented than Kemba Walker. But with Kemba, I mean, this year, obviously, they did not get as far as they wanted to. But they got to the conference final. They got to the conference final. You can't – I mean, we said before, Boston's arguably the favorite. If it wasn't for the bubble environment, they very well might be because of some of the veteran experience they have versus Miami. At the end of the day, though, when you come back to the NFL, we talk about these different players. Antonio Brown, he does not deserve another chance in this league. Again, like you said, Gavin, everyone deserves a second chance. Well, he had a second chance. All right, he got out of Pittsburgh. Went to Oakland, and it was Oakland last year, so now it's Vegas. Gets a lot of money, and then he acts like a total nutcase with them. That's a second chance, technically, because Pittsburgh said, we're done with you. And he wasn't.
Remind me the amount of money.
He insulted. Now Buffalo's doing better than Oakland, but.
Remind me the amount of money again. How much you talking yourself out of?
80-some million guaranteed.
If you shut up for 1 day, you could have yourself 80 million. Zach, if you were to tell me, Zach, if I had to shut up for 1 day on it, like if I didn't have to say anything on the show for 1 day and I get $80 million, Zach, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sit home you and not say a word. Not one word. He couldn't keep his mouth shut. And then you go to the Patriots, right? You go to the Patriots and
That's chance number 3. It's chance number 3.
Chance number 3. But Zach, I'm gonna take it even deeper on this, Zach. The reason why I think Antonio Brown deserves a second chance, and then you're right, Zach, he doesn't. He made he made a lot of people look like fools. You had and Zach, and I'm gonna elaborate on this. What is the one thing on the special Thursday when we did the talk about racism, race in America, right? What is the one thing I said? Black people had to present themselves in a way where always you have to be at your A game at all times, Zach. He made Black America, just himself, made us look horrible. Made us look horrible. The way how he acted on social media, every time something, it felt like every week there was someone Antonio Brown. He made us as a whole entire community look crazy as hell. But like I said, I'm a firm believer in second chances. But when it comes
to remember too, Mike Tomlin was on the hot seat a few years ago, and now he's already been for the year. Mike Tomlin, because Le'Veon Bell wanted out, it wasn't Mike Tomlin's fault. These guys were just crazy. And no offense to them, obviously. They have nothing but talent, and I hope nothing but the best for both of them. I
really do believe Le'Veon Bell was about money. I believe that was really about money. I don't think Antonio Brown wasn't.
Antonio Brown, we know Antonio Brown has issues, but Mike Tomlin was on the hot seat. You talk about one of two African American coaches in the league. Okay,
now.
we're not going to, like you said, with the race side and your perspective of it. Mike Tomlin was on the hot seat. It's not race related. I mean, it's one of the two guys in the league, and people want to fire him. But it was Antonio Brown who was the issue, not Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin right now is empowering his players, and they look really good after they're playing hard. Last year they played as hard as they could, barely missed the playoffs, and now they're in the right direction. Talk about Antonio Brown ruining reputations. That's one guy right there he tried to ruin. Juju Smith-Schuster he got in a fight with. I don't understand how he can have another chance. I just don't. I'm sorry. As a general manager in this league, looking at this guy, I don't know how desperate a team you can be.
It's hard. It's hard to. Because Zach, you got to think of his resume, right? Arguably, we were talking about how it was between him and Julio Jones as the best wide receiver. Ultimately, I always say Julio Jones because of the physicality and factors. Zach. We were talking about them two. Some days we would just talk about Antonio Brown alone. You got to look at his resume like, all the stats that he has is so good.
It doesn't matter.
You got to think about the environment.
There's another aspect in the game. It's in the locker room. That's where
I'm the Seahawks, Zach. If I'm the Seahawks, and before I do this, I'm picking up the phone, and I'm calling John Gruden and Mike Mayock, and I'm calling Mike Tomlin and whoever the general manager is, and I'm gonna be like, and I'm gonna call Bill Belichick and whoever their general manager is. I'm like, what is this guy really like in the locker room? Of course, the Patriots won't have much to say because it was a short time, but you have Oakland has enough to say. Oakland has enough to say, and Pittsburgh has a lot to say. So Zach, you got to think hard, long and hard before you bring him in.
And wait, what do you think they'll tell him? They tell him he's a disaster. That's what he is.
They're going to tell him he's crazy as hell. Antonio Brown, I said this once, I'm going to say it again. You need help. And I don't mean this in no disrespectful way, but you need help.
Yeah, it's not worth signing him. There's nothing against him as a person. I mean, he just made some bad decisions, and it's not something that most teams want in their locker room. If I was a GM, I certainly would not want that in my locker room. And if you're Seattle, don't make the mistake, man. You gotta get yourself some defensive players first. Don't worry about AB. Can AB play defensive end? I don't think so. The Seahawks need to evaluate different areas.
I think the Seahawks can look more defensively, baby. They're not as tough, but they're not bad. But Antonio Brown is not the way. It's not the way.
And so that we'll continue to cover that here on the show as that situation continues to progress after next week, which is week 8. He'll be eligible. And we'll expect to see a signing at that point, at least to give him his 4th chance, I guess we'll call it. But coming up after this, the Rays taking game 2. Evened up at 1 each. We'll cover that and more after this.
Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share this.
And welcome back here on the More Than Philly Sports Talk. Here's a quick update. Dallas Goedert is expected to return week 10 after the bye. That's good news considering that Zach Ertz is expected to be out more than the estimated timeline, 4 to 6 weeks. With a high ankle sprain, I think we should trade him before the season, but that's just my opinion. However, we'll cover that a little bit more in detail as the season continues if Zach Ertz can come back and see how he looks. But first of all, Gavin, Blake Snell, no-hitter through 4.5 innings and then gave up a couple runs. The Rays got a few back. Dodgers never led in this game, so there's not much concern. But, Gavin, what are your thoughts here on the Rays pulling out the win yesterday?
Well, I got to look at Dave Roberts first, and I say, Dave Roberts, why the hell would you not go with Walker Buehler in Game 2 or Julio Reyes in Game 2? You went with a Gosselin who, when I watched him versus Atlanta Braves, he got lit up versus Atlanta Braves. First inning, a struggling Brandon Lau, opposite field home run, Zach. And then you got to think about, okay, then they got a couple runs here and there. Then Brandon Lau did again. First of all, why would you, Zach, Game 2, right? Why would you not go with arguably the best young pitcher on your team and Walker Buehler? Why would you not go with it?
You should go up 2-0. Make it easier. A day of rest now today.
Exactly. Because, look, you go up 2-0 with a day of rest. That means you can bring back Kershaw in Game 4. You went to wait, and you ran through so many arms last night. It was ridiculous. But, Zach, this is why I talk about Dave Roberts. Does stupid things that makes his team lose. LA could have been up 2-0 today. You go into the bullpen and you play a bullpen game and then you lose. Zach, why? And I gotta give a lot of credit to Blake Snell. Zach, we were heavily talking on Blake Snell early in the show, early when the show first started. We were not fans of Blake Snell, but Blake Snell silenced us last night. He went 4 and 2 innings with a no hitter. Ultimately, then got knocked out after that, and but the team held on. I think the Dodgers aren't in trouble yet, but you can't continue to do stupid things like this. You couldn't.
No doubt, I agree. I don't understand like why you can't have a pitcher who's you said arguably the youngest pitcher on the team, who is the most talented. Clayton Kershaw, I would say he got lucky, but he had a rare, really good outing. Capitalized on that in the second game. And even if their bats were hot last night, they only get 3 runs to Rays. The Dodgers had 4 runs. They would have won. So I think that honestly it was a bad decision, and now they have a couple more games where they're going to have to – again, the long ball, that's how the Rays play. They have to shut the Rays down for 3 more games. And I don't know if they can do it right now. Honestly, the way the Rays looked last night, I'm still high on the Dodgers. I still think Dodgers in 6. But before we do continue with that, we do have 2 quick breaking stories coming out here. First of all, the Eagles have placed Zach Ertz on IR. That is obviously a minimum of 3 games, but this is expected. And I guess they'll claim another player today. And then Ngakwe, the former defensive end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was traded to the Vikings early in the year, has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens for a 2021 third-round pick and a 2022 conditional fifth-round pick.
Oh, the Baltimore defense just got better?
Yeah, you have him. You have Calais Campbell. Those two make a reunion from Jacksonville. Honestly, the Ravens defense is the best in the league. So, Gavin, can I get the Ravens defense now?
No, you cannot. You cannot get the Ravens defense, but you can sure as hell get the Seattle defense.
I don't want the Seattle defense.
Well, okay, then I guess we're not.
Seattle traded for Ngakwe, but I'm surprised he got traded. I guess Minnesota figured they'd start getting some picks.
I didn't
start tanking now.
I don't see the reason why you trade Ngakwe. I mean, you got a sweet deal out of it, but there was no reason. I guess Danielle Hunter is enough, and I thought arguably he was enough. I didn't think you needed him.
Not good. The Vikings aren't good.
Well, no, it's Kirk Cousins' fault, and don't get me started on that. Kirk Cousins, do you like that? I don't like that. All right, no one in Minnesota likes what the hell you're doing.
That front office, I think the front office screwed them over. Honestly, Kirk Cousins could work there, but you got rid of Stephon Diggs for now. And Justin Jefferson's good, but Diggs was the
guy there, but Kirk. Look, Kirk was not throwing the ball to Diggs. That's the problem. It was always Adam Thielen that was getting the ball. Kirk Cousins like Adam Thielen more than Stephon Diggs.
It's true. I mean, they gave him an extension here in the offseason after they beat the Saints.
They gave him an extension. How can you give a guy an extension and only went to the playoffs once?
People were already talking about them regretting it last year, and they doubled down by getting an extension. But let me just read you here quick. Packers, 43. Colts, 28. Titans, 31. They actually won against the Texans to a 23. Seahawks, 27. Falcons, 40.
Texans are a bad team.
They're averaging 30. They're giving up 30-plus points a game, Gavin. The defense needs help.
And you got rid of defensive help. I don't understand that.
So is this the year that Mike Zimmer finally gets fired?
Yes. And I like Mike Zimmer. I find him as a fantastic coach. But after a while, we gotta look at the head coach. Zach, I said the same thing about Doug Pearson. I said the same thing about Dan Quinn. I know we're calling for Adam Gase to be fired, which it's Tuesday. It's Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. He still has a job, which pisses me off. And I call for Bill O'Brien to get fired. Zach, the fact that guys like Mike Zimmer and Adam Gase, but I'm more Adam Gase than Mike Zimmer because at least Mike Zimmer's been to the playoffs, unlike Adam Gase.
Well, Gase has his little Broncos ring the whole.
That doesn't count. That does not count. That doesn't matter. That doesn't count because you failed with the Miami Dolphins. You failed with the Miami Dolphins, and you wasn't really the head guy in Denver. But Zach, I don't know. I don't know what the Vikings' turn of events is. Losing Stephon Diggs is going to hurt, but Justin Jefferson is doing just enough, in my honest opinion, to fulfill the shoes. It's not going to be enough, but nothing's going to be enough to fulfill a star. But it's a good sight.
Kirk Cousins isn't playing the best, and the defense is not doing great. So I think those are all tough situations. So we'll see what happens. I'll ask you this quick question though, Gavin. Besides the Jets, who is the other team that you can expect to tank towards the end of the season?
So besides the Jets, what, Falcons too?
You can say the Falcons. That's my pick. I think they should be big sellers at the trade deadline. Matt Ryan should be traded.
I think
Todd Gurley should be traded.
I mean, keep Todd Gurley maybe.
Julio Jones, get rid of the whole team. Restart.
I think the Falcons are a team that needs to give it up, but another team that feels like that should give it up, and they're probably not going to, but I feel like they should. The Cowboys should give it. No, I'm just playing. No, but Zach, Atlanta's the biggest sellers in this market or in this trade deadline today.
They have a lot of assets. Get rid of them. Get picks.
You have a lot, and you can get a first round pick from Matt Ryan, second round maybe.
No, we're looking like third. We're looking at like a third and a player
If you move Julio Jones, that's 2 first round picks.
easily.
But Zach, I want.
If you play this correctly, the Falcons could have 4 or 5 first round picks this year. Why would you not want that?
What if the Eagles don't make it? Zach, here's my random question for you. Eagles don't make the playoffs, right? They miss playoffs. They miss out. You get a high pick. Why not get the middle linebacker Moses from Alabama?
Him or Micah Parsons? Take a linebacker.
I'll take them both if you can.
You got to get. I mean, we got to figure out the wide receiver situation too.
Well,
you have arguably 3 receivers in Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham, and Jalen Reagor going forward. Build off that, honestly. John Hightower possibly. You got to get a veteran. You got to get a veteran.
If Julio Jones, if the answer price of Julio Jones is not that high, would you go for it?
I would not trade 2 first round picks for him.
But if it's not a first round, if it's like a second round, or maybe like a third round in a player, would you go for it?
Third round the player, I'd go for it.
If they go third round in Carson Wentz or third round in Jalen Hurts, would you go for it?
We should try to shoot Jalen Hurts at the deadline.
I know Chris Carzo won't be happy about that. And
why? He'd go be a starter somewhere. Minnesota could use a starting quarterback. Think about these teams that have pocket passers right now. Indianapolis. You're telling me that there's
Philip Rivers is a horrible. He shouldn't have got another job. I'm a firm believer Phil Rivers did not deserve another job. Look at the Chargers, Zach. They're doing good. What a rookie. By the way, the rookie's fantastic. If I may say that. Do you think now? Here's a real question, Zach. Is Dwayne Haskins on the move? Yes or no?
He should be. Someone should be out there willing to invest in him and see what he can do.
And where would you want to see him? I wouldn't mind seeing him in Colts with a great offensive line.
I mean, I'm just trying to think where a good fit for him would be. I mean, Jacksonville could experiment between him and Gardner, but I don't know.
I think that's another
guy, honestly. I thought he would be.
That's the team that should give it up, Zach, or the Texans as well. Another one of those teams should give it up.
Texans, they signed Deshaun. Let me see what the standings are looking like.
I'm not talking as in like be sellers. I'm talking about to start tanking. Like get yourself like a wide receiver. Or something.
I could see the Lions or Vikings could look at Haskins. Possibly the Falcons could trade for Haskins and get rid of Matt Ryan and just see if Haskins can make it work. The Jets could honestly give him a shot.
If I'm the Falcons, I'm going through the draft. Like I said,
the Browns very much could give him a shot.
Well, do you think they pick up Baker Mayfield's 5th-year option? Because I don't believe so. He's a horrible game manager, Zach. He's a horrible game manager.
Case Keenum will probably play by the end of the year, I think.
I think they have another. The Browns should be sellers, in my honest opinion.
They have a winning record. They're 4-2.
I know, and here's why they should be sellers, right? Your stars are unhappy. OBJ is unhappy. He came out publicly and said, I don't know if you heard the comments, but he was strong on what he said. He said he's tired of losing. He said, no, let me rephrase. He's tired.
Kind of Philly.
Good team. It's a good. I would love that. Listen, I would love that. But I wouldn't want Doug Pearson here to mess with that experiment. I wouldn't want Doug Pearson here to mess with that experiment.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But we'll continue coverage with that, of course. Possibly pregame tonight, Gavin. We'll talk here after the show and see if we want to get something worked out tonight, possibly maybe get some callers in to discuss it. We'll figure that out. But other than that, everyone stay tuned. We'll continue to supply updates if we decide to do something tonight. Presidential debate is also tonight. If you are watching the Eagles, go record that and make sure you watch it afterwards. Get yourself educated and make sure you vote this year. Gavin.
Seahawks defense.
No.
No?
I'm sorry. And, of course, outside of all the stuff we just said, we'll keep you updated on Gavin and my possible trade. So, thank you for watching, everyone.
There's no trade. He won't take the Seahawks defense. I'm not giving up Baltimore.
Seahawks D is not good.
That's not happening. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good one. Go vote, and that's all I got for y'all today.
Have a good one, everyone.
Seahawks defense. Yeah, whatever. Have a good one, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all
to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos. Again, thanks for watching.